What is Etoro? Etoro is one of the world's leading social investment networks, which aims to revolutionize the way people invest, and enhance investors' financial education. Their vision is to open a global market, so that everyone can trade and invest, in a simple and transparent way. Etoro is well known for its feature called Copy Trader, which allows you to copy the strategies of huge and top-performing investors around the globe like Warren Buffett. Whether you're a beginner learning the basics, or you simply don't have time to watch the markets, now it's easy to leverage other traders' expertise, which allows you to instantly replicate their trading in your own portfolio. As I said before, it is not just a copy trading platform but a social community, a place to connect, share, and learn. You can chat with traders, discuss your strategies and learn their way of trading. Etoro comes with Etoro Money account, which you can use to send and receive money with your friends and families. It has no subscription or hidden costs. Also, Etoro is well regulated, which means your funds will be safeguarded with a top-tier bank. Its second account type is professional account. If you're inexperienced and is permitted to employ more advanced strategies in managing your portfolio, professional account type is what I'll suggest you. Let's talk about Etoro's platforms. Multi-asset platform. The multi-asset platform gives traders and investors access to more than 2,000 different financial assets, including stocks, cryptocurrencies, ETFs, indices, currencies and commodities, which can be invested in both with and without leverage, giving almost anyone access to short, mid and long-term investment options. Copy Trader. Copy Trader enables traders to replicate other traders' actions in real time, which means you can just enable this platform to replicate top traders of your choice, and it'll copy their actions. So if they make profit, you make profit. Smart Portfolios is another unique product offered by Etoro, which offers you ready-made investment strategies, like which product to buy or sell on what time. Before we go to our next platform, hello, this is Brian from Live Forex Trading. It took me a lot of time to research and make this video for you guys. So if you found this helpful, please leave a like. It'll be helpful to encourage me to make more of this. Comment down below which forex broker you want me to look on next. And don't forget to share this video to your fellow investor and family if they want to invest on Etoro. Let's get back to our last platform. Last but not least, social trading. Etoro has focused a lot on social trading since 2010. Etoro knows the value of community and social life, so they created this mega platform which allow you to post, chat and socialize with other users around the globe, harnessing the wisdom of the crowd for the benefit of its clients. Let's talk about specifications of Etoro. Situated in Israel since 2007. Etoro is regulated by Cyprus Securities and Exchange Commission (CySEC), Financial Conduct Authority (FCA), Australian Securities and Investments Commission (ASIC), Financial Services Authority Seychelles (FSAS). You can leverage your invested amount up to 400 times in Etoro, with minimum 0 units of spreads. You can start trading right now by clicking the link in the description, and depositing $50, while residents of UK or US, $10 minimum amount needed. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please leave a like and comment down your suggestion for next video. Subscribe and share it with your friends. Have a nice day.